Jackson, blacksmith at the Littleton Museum. It's Christmas time, so we're going to make a candy cane out of steel. So we're going to put this into the fire to get it nice and soft. It's mild steel, so we'll take it to about 2,300 degrees. That'll be a nice orange, almost yellow color. We have our fire here, which is a coal fire. And we have a large bellows here, which pushes air on the fire to keep it going. But this is modern times. In 1903, we have electricity, so it pushes air onto our fire. Now let's take a look here and see how we're doing. Oh, we're getting there, but we want to get the whole thing nice and red, because when it's that color, it gets nice and soft. This is coal that we're using, and this is special coal that we use for the blacksmith. This is coal that is called bituminous. It's soft coal. It's good for blacksmithing. It's not the hard coal that we get here in Colorado. Hard coal is hard to light and hard to put out. But the soft coal that comes from Kentucky, if we turn off the heat, it'll be nice and cool and cold in about 20 minutes. And we can control the heat, which is important when you're blacksmith. You don't want to get things too hot. I think we're about ready to make our twirl on the candy cane. So we'll start that by putting it in the vise. And we'll take a wrench, put it on the top, and we'll twirl it around. Oh, that looks like a good candy cane to me. All right. Now we have to straighten it out, because of course when we twirl it, it gets all messed up a little bit. So we take it to the anvil, straighten it out. Don't want to hit it too hard. All right. Now a candy cane has a top to it, where we can hang it on the tree. So let's get that hot again, and let's make a thinner top so it can hang on the tree branch. And we take that by pounding it with the hammer on the anvil, and it will squash my metal to get it just the size that we want. We want to get it a little smaller. Almost there. Remember, a blacksmith does two bad things in his life. He doesn't get the metal hot enough, and he doesn't charge enough. That's the joke. All right, here we go. What I'm going to do is pound it so that I can get this thinner. I'll wrap it up a little bit. Now the anvil and the hammer is cold, so my heat goes away pretty fast. So when I judge that my color is going away, so it's down to about 1,800 degrees now, I put it back in the fire. Now I'm going to have my assistant hold this, and we're going to put that in there when it's time to make the curve at the end. Oh, this is nice. Nice and hot. Now as I pound it, it gets a little bit longer and thinner. And that's what I want in my candy cane. Okay, one more heat. We're just about ready. So I'm going to start my curve a little bit right like that on my anvil. And then I'm going to take it over here to my vise, and we are going to make it look really good. All right, we've got it started now. So now I'm going to hit it again, straighten it out again. Now it won't take much time at all. It's really thin, so it gets hot really fast. If I get it too hot, it starts to burn. Now I've got the top of my candy cane. I want to straighten it out just a bit here. That looks pretty good. Now I've got a long piece here, and it's long so I can hold on to it. Now I'm going to cut that off, and we're going to cut it off by getting it hot in the fire. And I'll find my cutter over here. I'll put it in a hole in my handle here. It's called a Hardy hole. All right, first of all, I want to cut that off because I don't want my candy cane to be too long. So we'll cut it off just about like that. Now I'll take the, oh, you got it. Oh, very nice, thank you. Take my tongs here and just have it come off. Now I'm going to hold that with my tongs as I straighten that out and get rid of those rough edges on the top. All right. Now I'll just get rid of those edges so we don't hurt ourselves with the tip of it. Straighten it out. And now we have our candy cane. But we're going to put a little color on it. Now we don't have spray paints or anything like that in 1903. So we're not going to try and put a stripe on that. But you know, if I get it nice and hot and I brush it with a brass brush, some of that brass is going to melt off on my steel. And it'll give it a nice color. That's hot enough. All right, there we go. Go ahead, you can brush that now. Maybe a little too hot when it's still too red out there. The brass might just evaporate. But we'll give it just a minute here, or 30 seconds or so. All right, now get a little bit tougher with it. There we go. All right, let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's beginning to look pretty good. Let's continue it on just a little bit more. Let's just put it like that. That's good. Now, it's still pretty hot. We don't want to hold on to that, so we're going to put it in the water to quench it. That not only will harden it, it doesn't need to be hardened, it's just hanging on a Christmas tree. But it's going to cool it off so we can touch it. Here we are. And there is our candy cane. We pretend that's a little Christmas tree for us. Now the next thing I wanted to do is make a little ornament. It's going to be a round ornament. Just a simple round ornament. That will hang on the tree, so we'll get this nice and hot. First of all, and I'll show you how we wind it up. Here we go. First of all, we'll start off by bringing it to a point a little bit. Now we have it to a point on the top, and we're going to roll it up to be a small little ornament that we can hang on the tree. It'll look like a two-dimensional, what would you say it? A ball ornament, right? Right. So we start it by taking it over the edge of the anvil here and just keep pounding it down. And then we're going to have to really get it tight. So we'll pound it like this. And you know, I can tell right now that's cooling off. So what do we have to do? Get it back in the fire. Keep it nice and hot. Don't want to get it too hot or it'll melt and then we got to start all over again. Here we go. Keep it straight. Keep winding it up. And it's getting a little bit harder to work on now because it's losing some of its color and getting stronger. But we have a little tiny ornament. We're going to take it a little further though. We're going to make a little bigger ornament for the bottom branch of the tree instead of the little top one. Just about there, I can tell by looking at the color. All right. Gotta keep it straight. When it's hot, it tends to go every which direction. So you have to tell it who's boss. Now we're getting it to look like a little ornament. We're going to take it a little bit further. We're going to make it about 3 inches or so in diameter. And then we'll put a little bit of a hanger on the end. You know, maybe I should show you that before we had electricity, we had to use our big bellows over here. And it would push the air from the bellows down the tube into the bottom of the fire. It would be nice to have a helper for this. My apprentice would do this. Here we go. Well, we got about just a ½ an inch or so to go. You can make that any size you want, but I like the bigger round ones to look like a nice big ornament. And you can see the fire takes air to get it nice and hot and to keep it hot. But it doesn't take all that much. He's not really working up a sweat there. Oh, you gotta do better than that. There we go. Nice. That's good. Make sure it stays nice and round. All right, just about now, I'm going to start making my little hook to go on that. And what I'm going to do first is to make it thinner in one area, and then I'll cut it off. So we're going to get it really hot in that one area. And I have to keep pushing coals around it to hold that heat in on my metal. And if I talk too much time goes by and it's going to burn up and I'm going to pull it out and I won't have an ornament anymore. So you have to be careful and always be cognizant of when to take that out. Not quite yet. All right. You can always tell the temperature by looking at the color. A dull red is about 1800 degrees. When it gets to be a nice orange, it's about, this particular steel anyway, is about 2300. A yellow would be 2400. And when it's white, it's 2500 and it's melting, too hot. So you're going to watch it carefully. Oh, there it is. That's nice. That's nice. All right. This is where I'm going to start to make this thinner. And I do that over the edge of the anvil there. You hear that ring, that sound? That's called the song of the anvil, the ring of the anvil. Almost ready. It's nice when we have people here at the museum because they can count for me. I tell the kids, count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's ready. Look at that. Getting it thinner in the area that I'm going to cut off because that's going to be the thin part that's going to hold it onto the tree. Now you can begin to see the thin part here. So I'm going to cut it off right about there, make my loop, and then finish it up. So we'll get it nice and hot again. And I got to decide what I'm going to hold it with. Probably something like this. These are called tongs. It's an extension of your arm so you don't burn your fingers. So the first thing, I've got to get my cutter back here again. There we go. Oh, this is nice. Sometimes if I hit it too hard, it goes across the room. So I'll try and be gentle this time. Just enough. I've hit it through about halfway, and then I can grab my tongs and just take it off. I don't want to burn myself with other pieces around. So we'll take that, cool it off before I lay it down in case I accidentally touch it. So now I'm going to take that hot piece, we're going to get it nice and hot where I need to put it on the tree. Don't want to get my tongs too hot or they'll get soft too. So keep your tongs nice and cool, just like you want to keep your fingers cool. All right, here we go. We're getting there, almost. take it a little bit more, a little bit bigger for the branches. There we go. That looks good. Actually, I think that looks perfect, just the way it is. But now we're going to have to, we got some soot on it there, so we're going to take that brass brush again. We're going to brush it off a little bit. Too hot to pick up with my fingers, so I want to be able to pick it up here with my, there we go. Let me put it in like this. There, both sides of that, sir. Oh, really give it a, It'll give it a nice little color too. It cleans it off, makes it pretty. Shines it up a little bit too, I'll tell you. About right? All right, let's take that and put it in the water, and then we'll take a look at it close up. Look at that pretty little one. We're going to put that on. Pretend that's a tree branch. Look at there. And there's that pretty little ornament. So you see, we can make ornaments for the tree in the blacksmith shop without too much trouble. And it really was fascinating to your neighbors.